for whatever reason, at the wide receiver position, the dominoes have not been falling so far. Now, we knew that the wide receiver class in free agency wasn't super outstanding, but the biggest contract of the offseason so far has been Alan Lazard to the New York Jets. So let's talk about Alan Lazard. It's 4 years, $44 million, $22 million of it is guaranteed. There was a wish list, supposedly, for Aaron Rodgers, and it was to go get Alan Lazard. How do you feel about Lazard on the Jets? What is this?
Lose my number. Nice try though.
Yep.
I think it's honestly for the amount of money it is, I think it's super irrelevant. Like you're paying a guy who's like the third best receiver on your team all this money just because it'll make the quarterback comfortable. Like, I mean, honestly, if I not if I was Gary Wilson, but if I was Elijah Moore, I would be pushing even harder to get traded. I know now I think they had like a little bonfire or something and was like, and I'm just shaking my head in sadness, like, Elijah, he's phasing you out.
Yeah,
He's
like,
phasing you out. He's not thinking, oh yeah, I got Elijah Garrett and Allen. He's thinking, oh yeah,
I got
I got
Garrett.
Allen, I got Allen Garrett and Randall, and then you. Like
Yeah.
Elijah needs to push to be a
He
bear.
needs to say, I know you want him to be a bear. But he needs to say, look, if you're trading for Aaron, put me in the deal. Send me to Green Bay. I'll
Yes.
play with Jordan Love. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, send me to Green Bay and I'll play opposite Christian Watson. And I might be better than Christian Watson, honestly. But
Yeah.
send me over there. I don't give a shit. I don't want to play for the Jets anymore.
Yeah. Honestly, I think whether he asks for that or not, he might actually be in the trade.
He should be.
Green Bay would be smart to ask for him,
They need a wide
especially
receiver.
especially if Green Bay ends up. Because I know you heard the report. Like I think it came out this morning that they asked every GM that's not involved in the trade would they trade a first for Aaron Rodgers. And because Green Bay thinks they're getting two firsts for Aaron Rodgers, and all the other GMs are like, we wouldn't trade one first for Aaron Rodgers. But if you put Elijah in there and maybe a third or something like that, I think that's the best they're going to get. I mean, Elijah's a round one level wide receiver and young.
Yeah.
I think you can move that for Aaron Rodgers and be happy about it, and then you give Jordan Love some legitimate weapons, something Justin didn't have last year. You got him Christian Watson, you got him Elijah Moore, and you got him Romeo Dobbs. So,
Yep.
but yeah, man, Alan Lazard. You notice that most of this has been about Elijah Moore, and that's because Alan Lazard is a very pedestrian wide receiver. I prayed the Bears didn't sign Alan Lazard, and thank
Yeah.
God they didn't.
Yeah.
I think Alan Lazard is like a better version of Equanimous St. Brown. And like that's just how I look at him. And he's going to go to New York. He's going to produce like a jet.
Yeah. I think for me, man, all this really says, and it looks obvious to me. I don't know how it looks to other people, but I would be cutting Corey Davis because Corey Davis,
Oh
if you
yeah,
cut Corey Davis right now, it's gonna save you like $8 million.
yeah,
So Alan Lazard could just replace Corey Davis for me, and then I'd call it a day just to appease Aaron Rodgers, I guess. But other than that, there's really two other significant signings at the wide receiver position. Now, we were talking about Darius Slayton earlier. He did end up signing with the Giants. That is a contract that happened. So,
Okay, so they got both of those guys back.
yeah, they got both of them. But the other two contracts that I was going to talk about is Jacoby Myers and Juju Smith-Schuster. Um,
Oh,
both of them got pretty equivalent contracts. It's 3 years, $33 million for Jacoby to go to the Raiders, and it is 3 years, $26 million for Juju to go to the Patriots. So how do you? They kind of are similar players, but how do you feel about Juju in New England, and how do you feel about Jacoby in Las Vegas?
hey, Hey, come here. Bring me that tombstone. That's Juju Smith-Schuster. His career is dead. He's done. He's a Patriot. He's a Patriot. Um, Here's how I look at it. Jacoby Myers was better than Juju last year.
Yeah.
Juju played with Patrick Mahomes. Jacoby played with Mac Jones. Juju was slated to be the top wide receiver in Kansas City, and he was worse than Jacoby Myers. So I'm supposed to believe that a guy who was worse than Patrick Mahomes is about to go to New England and play with Mac Jones and have better numbers. No, he's done. He's done. Mac Jones is probably done. Like, those guys as a collective are done. I'm way higher on Jacoby Myers in Vegas, and I think Renfro might even be off the team. We'll see, because I was hearing trade wins or whatever about that. We'll see if Renfro is even there. But Jimmy Garoppolo is better than Mac Jones, and yeah, dude. Sorry for you, Juju. I mean, I hope your budding TikTok career is taking off to the heights unimaginable, because I think poor Juju, man. Poor Juju.
Yeah.
Oh
I
no.
got
Oh
I got in
no.
a little bit of an argument, just a debate, really. It wasn't an argument, it's a debate in another one of my leagues because somebody was sick, just sick for the landing spot for Jacoby Myers. They thought it was horrific. Um, and they were saying that like Hunter Renfro could be a better wide receiver than Jacoby, and Jacoby might be the wide receiver 3 now underneath Hunter Renfro. And I was like not having that conversation. Like, I do not believe that Hunter Renfro can beat out Jacoby Myers. And you're telling me they're going to pay Jacoby to go play for a former Patriot coach and a former Patriot quarterback and a former Patriot yada yada yada, $33 million to be the wide receiver 3? Hell no. Hell no. Like, Jacoby is a wide receiver 2. And if that's valuable in Las Vegas, I don't know. I'm not saying he's going to be a superstar, but ain't no way that Hunter Renfro is going to be more valuable than Jacoby Myers moving forward.
No. No.
Just
Absolutely
it's just
not.
it's just blasphemy. But at the wide receiver positions, there's a couple like sneaky additions. And you tell me if any of these are relevant to you. But Deontay Hardy, or formerly known as Deontay Harris before he changed his name, he signed with Buffalo to almost a $10 million deal. And then Paris Campbell went to the Giants for 1 year, almost $5 million. So are either of those interesting?
No. I didn't. The
No?
first guy, honestly, I think he used to play for the Saints. I don't even know who he is.
Yeah, he played for the
Yeah,
Saints
I mean,
or
maybe
played for the
because he
Saints.
changed his name, but I
Yeah,
don't even know who he is. So
yeah,
he's going to Buffalo. Okay, they released Isaiah McKenzie. He's nothing but the next McKenzie at best. Then
yeah.
you have, and honestly, I don't even think he's that, because I think Khalil Shakir is going to be above him. So
Sneaky.
yeah, just get him out of there.
Yeah.
And Paris Campbell, I mean, how many of these guys do the Giants need? They're literally the same guy. Sterling Shepard, Darius
Paris
Slayton,
Campbell.
they're all the same guys. All three injury prone, all three the same guys. Like,
Yep.
I mean, I guess
Yep.
maybe if you look, I guess if you have enough of them, if one goes down, you got the rest. That's why I said they're that team, as far as the receiver cover is, Darren Waller and the receivers. That's the name of that group.
You know what
Darren
this
Waller
tells
and
me?
those guys.
This tells me they are drafting a wide receiver come draft day, because it seems like they're getting their depth figured out, because none of these guys are getting significant contracts. All these contracts are
No,
small for their wide receivers. So it's like they're getting the depth figured out, and then they're going to draft their wide receiver, because they don't really have any other significant needs, really.
none of those
Um,
dudes are number ones.
So they're going to go in, they're going to get a Quentin Johnston or a Jordan Addison or a Jackson Smith and Jigba. They're going to get one of those guys and plug them in. And quite honestly, all of this has pointed to signs. I've been trying to sell them in every league that I have them in, but it's been pointing to signs that Wan'Dale Robinson is just overvalued in Dynasty Fantasy Football. People love Wan'Dale Robinson for whatever reason. Maybe because he had a good stretch last year when he was alone that he kind of looked like he was going to be a PPR monster for a little bit. But Wan'Dale Robinson, man, I'm getting out because it looks like they're just continuing to add to the wide receiver room, and it's the biggest need. And I think they're not done. I don't think they're done.
Now, don't get me wrong. I know it's new management. I know, they have the Husky guy from Buffalo as the coach.
Dayball.
Dable, I know they made some changes. I still look at the Giants because of the way they handled Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley's free agency. I still look at them as an inept organization. I think they botched their free agency, giving
Like
Daniel Jones
Gettleman
that
era.
money.
The
Yeah,
Gettleman era.
yeah, I still feel like they're inept. Um, because here's the thing, they traded for Darren Waller, but they already had a pretty good young tight end on that team, Bellinger. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so do I think there's a world where they play both tight ends and almost have Waller as like a de facto wide receiver one? Yes. I'm not saying they're not going to draft one. I think they're still going to draft one. I think it's not like they're going to cut Wandale. I think Wandale will still be,
Slot
on
wide
top of
receiver.
all those other guys we mentioned. But we'll see, man. I just don't think that they're not going to use Bellinger. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and look, man, I've been a David Bellinger fan, and he's kind of somebody that I've been pumping since rookie drafts, and this just hurt, man. This hurt my heart because Daniel Bellinger season is never coming, I don't think. At least to be a top 10 tight end for Dynasty. Like, it's not going to happen. But that sucks because he is he's a Las Vegas kid, man, from Palo Verde High School. So you want to see those Vegas kids win. But we got two more in this draft. We got Darnell Washington from Desert Pines, and we got Dalton Kincaid from Faith Lutheran. So both of those guys are Vegas kids. So we'll see. Keep rooting for the Vegas dudes. But
Darnell Washington is from Vegas?
Desert Pines.
Wow.
Yeah, and Dalton Kincaid played at Faith Lutheran.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, Kincaid
All right.
was basketball and football at Faith Lutheran.
All
Could have got a
right.
scholarship in both.
Sheesh.
But
It's
yeah,
a
so
surprise that neither one of them went to Bishop Gorman.
I know, and I kind of like that though because I'm like Vegas.
Yeah, me too.
Vegas needs the high school football landscape to continue to be competitive, and
Parody.
if everybody dips to go to Bishop Gorman, I mean, we have Brevin Jordan who went to Bishop Gorman that came out of Vegas, but we have a couple guys out of Vegas. I was talking to Brandon last night. I said, is Vegas a tight end city? Like we got Brevin Jordan, Darnell Washington, Daniel Bellinger, Dalton Kincaid. Like we got a lot of tight ends coming out of Las Vegas, man.
Yeah,
So
yeah.